get a little love to Sil Nation.
Hey guys,
Zach says shout out
love this channel.
to Sil
Stay
Nation.
tuned.
It's Coffee Talk with sylabdul. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe now.
Wake up in the morning, eyes crusty, heavy yawning. My phone keep going off, so I shut off the alarm and then head into the kitchen to get the coffee brewing. French roast with French vanilla, my own French revolution. Next movement is to tune into Coffee Talk with Sil. My girl starts to yap if I tell her she needs to chill. I hear enough of the yapping from all of these goofy shills. Plus I'm trying to be informed of whatever's the latest deal. For real. I am a fee for caffeine. Coffee gotta have some cream. Fetch a hazel beef for me while I listen to these kings. Silla might be the team. Subscribe to Sylabdul Inc. Wiki City magazine. Tell me what's behind the scenes. The other side of the ravine. Is it obscene or is it obscure? I am not sure. The rich off the poor. That ain't no doubt to my core. We just keep asking for more. They keep supplying demand in the store. As long as it makes it to shore, I know for sure. They'll just keep on making more. Well, almost treasure that piece that have been transformed into corporate Hollywood whore.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am sylabdul. We're here to give you informative, objective, and dynamic analysis of the latest in CBM and geek news, plus the business behind it. At the core is DC. So, you know, there's some Superman talk that we have to talk about. It's in the news. We got Yovik, much love to Yovik in the chat. We're truly living in a nightmare timeline. For those who, if you didn't want this new DCU to hit, now there's different talks about international markets and stuff like that. We'll touch on that today, but I think it's kind of clear you got to make your money domestically first, and then the rest of the world follows. But we'll talk more about that in this show today. Much love to Sil Nation. We saw a Music City Soul up there. We got Real Talks Production Calls was good. We got Yovik in the chat. If you are on, first off, shout out to X Twitter. They do their thing every time we go live. So definitely a lot of eyeballs on Twitter. And then on YouTube, if you're not, make sure you smash a like first off. Make sure you still subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed. Again, we talk the latest in CBM and geek news. DC first, but then we talk about other stuff as well, too. So, we coming up in here. Shout out to Yo because he hates the turn of events right now. Like, that's what I say. I appreciate people like Yovik out there as well. You see the topics. We got some trailers to check out today. Fantastic Four. We got some opening projections, which is lined up to what we've been talking about for the past month. And then update on Superman box office. A lot of talk about international markets. I try to just give y'all the information. Y'all can take it if you want. Y'all can go off the latest meme if you want. But leading up to the release of the Superman film, what I saw was a lot of misinformation. A lot of people just, again, I understand if you are not a fan of it. You can have your own opinion. You can't have your own facts. And the film has opened up pretty good domestically. It's holding up pretty good the second week. We'll talk about it. Let's see. If that's your goal to smash overseas, I don't know what business you're in. And I don't know if you're from America, because I see this whole sentiment of people that doesn't live in the States You make your money here first. I've been saying this like the past month. So if we're going to champion international markets over domestic, international markets have never been more than domestic. Because international, you take the domestic market, that's all one like ball. And the international is several markets adding up to one number. If you're in business, and some of y'all are not, and again, I ain't trying to disrespect people, but it's like we kind of got to go there with this conversation because people are leaning into this whole international. You're talking about one market versus like 100. If you're making more money in one market versus 100, I'm going to market to that one market that's giving me most of the money. Again, if you know, you know. I mean, and we will, educate those if they want, or y'all can stay in ignorance. Y'all see the topics here. We got a couple of trailers to check out today. Fantastic Four opening numbers are getting out there. And then Superman box office second week update. We will see how it's holding overall. So before we get into all that, I left out a few things. Hold on. Let's get this in here because I definitely want to talk about a couple, at least one bonus topic. And as far as Warner Brothers, how they feel about the overall the overall performance of this film. I said, hey, people just gotta update as far as how this goes, But before we do that, just a side thing here. Captain Planet live action series at Netflix with Berlanti and Leonardo DiCaprio. His production company is Apion Way. So you got Captain Planet. First off, when you say Berlanti and any kind of like sci-fi comic, whatever, I think you're gonna have a pretty good show with that combination. Captain Planet, they just had a new comic book run of Captain Planet drop. I got the #1 issue of that. And they want to do some live action stuff as well. Potential with this IP. It's an IP game. And according to the report on this, you got this production team and you got Warner Brothers Television in conjunction with Netflix. That's the same thing you got with Sandman, and other things as far as what Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers got their toe in the pool over there with this Captain Planet live action series. Interesting. Let Netflix cook. It's about to be lit. I'm looking forward to this show. It's about content. We want new content. We love it. So we'll see what they do with that. And like I said, with Berlanti, a part of it, I think it's going to be, a certain quality at the very least of this show. So let's see. We got some box office experts out there. So yeah, this is going to be a fun show today. It's going to be Keith, I'm not even gonna start with you about Berlanti. I'm not even. I give Berlanti credit for CWDC, Keith. You can't take that away from him. Oh man. Interesting stuff there, but yeah, Captain Planet live action series. We'll see what happens with that overall. Let's go forward because I don't want to talk about Berlanti anymore today. New trailers out there. So people knew yesterday Mortal Kombat. This trailer, let's set this up real quick. Mortal Kombat 2 coming out, I think it was the fall of this year. The first Mortal Kombat film. It was an average experience from that. Now we got part 2. You Carl Urban, and can we juice this up some more? So let's see.
Uno mas, thanks.
You're Johnny Cage. I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
They should do a reboot.
Nobody wants that. Shit went out in the 90s.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight.
Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How are you doing that?
Are you coming or what?
Where the hell am I?
It's called Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
Fuck.
So first off, a few things here. The first Mortal Kombat film, again, I thought it was, I had an average experience with the first Mortal Kombat. We're talking about the recent. Now, you're talking about the real first Mortal Kombat film. I mean, I thought that was a phenomenon. But anyway, this recent one, what was that, in 2021 or whatever? I mean, it was okay. And then going to this, first of all, I like the vibes, the whole, 95. I was in school still at that point, and that was great. I like the whole, it's like some Wu-Tang thing going on here. Like, I kind of like that. And again, you're pushing Johnny Cage, which, what does that mean? You're pushing him, you set him up for the ultimate fall? Or is he going to be the ultimate good guy in the film? This can go either way for Mortal Kombat, right? Not everybody makes it.
That.
This is a war for the fate of your world.
You dickheads in or what?
I'm not some champion. I don't have transformer arms or shoot lightning bolts. This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
First off, that's very hateful of you, Joel. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is probably one of the worst films I've ever seen in theaters. My experience was very bad with that in theaters. What was it doing with Johnny? Still not loving Urban. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's something. Like I said, I watch everything, but I'm looking forward to seeing this. It's something not clicking with me overall with this. It's let Carl Urban do his thing, but I'm not like, oh, this is gonna be, you know what I'm saying, some kind of great experience. I know, Joel. I know. I almost walked out of the theater when they did that. But he's gonna be in this more than 2 minutes.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
There's a war going on outside.
The mob G. I'm just saying that they're trying to mix in. I felt some Wu-Tang vibes and some Mobb Deep vibes, but I'm like, I don't know where you're trying to land with this, because like, it ain't like the first film killed numbers. But in this second film, you definitely want to lean into more of the fatalities and things like that. In my opinion, you want to make this some kind of buddy story. People gotta die in Mortal Kombat.
It's time.
to become the hero you were meant to be.
Just my audience.
All right, you big ugly fuck. It's showtime. Get over here!
Only the strong survive.
Freeze him!
Are you shitting me? You don't have any powers? Just incredibly handsome.
So there's a lot going on with this. I'm just gonna put it out there. There's a lot going on with this in this trailer. And, you know, again, the responses of it is that, you know, hardcores, you know, obviously they're loving anything Mortal Kombat content related. And those is kind of towards the middle. They're like, more of the same or less. And some point. So we'll see. We'll see. October of this year, we're a few months away from it. We'll get some new looks probably a month before the release. And we'll see. We'll see what it do. I think what did the first film do? I know it was in the middle of COVID. I know it was. I understand these. I understand these factors with that. So let's see. Mortal Kombat, that was 2021. Okay, so it's 2021. And what was the box office of that one? Less than 90 million, right? And again, this is when it wasn't a full theatrical release. It even had some international box office as well, like 40 million. So we'll see. Right? This is, you throw it out there, you got the IP, and you'll see who responds to it. I'm not expecting nothing big from this film, you know, this fall, quite honestly, with that. So, I mean, I remember the old Mortal Kombat game, you know, in the arcade, and Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2 is when I was like, oh, I came to the arcade. I had like some combinations ready for people. Mortal Kombat 2, yeah, oh yeah. I was pretty young then, but I knew some combos back in the day. That's what it totally is. It's a popcorn film. That's what we're doing with that film. So Ultimate MK. I'll probably stop going to arcades by that time. Man, that's what they was doing. Okay. That's what's up. Ultimate MK3. Because Mortal Kombat 3, it was nothing like Mortal Kombat 2 in real time. That was like Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 2. That was like some of my greatest experiences in arcade history. All right. I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. MK3 wasn't like MK2. I'm just saying. Someone could challenge me if they want. We still got the ninjas. That's what's up. We got another. Let's tee this up. This is Alien Earth has a trailer as well. This is the FX series of the Alien franchise, and I think Alien has a good revival with Romulus. Had some great responses covering that film this past year. And now you got this series on FX, Alien Earth. All right. Let's go.
If I'm not human, what am I?
Did you even think about it? Was it blue skies from Earth? Did you see green?
First of all, I love the whole, alternative vibe to this, right? I was already bought into Noah Hawley doing this Alien series. I like the vibe. All right, I'm real big on the vibes. I like the vibe.
From your
This ship collected specimens. 5 new life forms from distant planets. Monsters.
As big, you got Ridley Scott, right? Because it's all about selling this. It's good you got Ridley Scott a part of this, this experience with this. And again, I like the vibe.
We don't lock them down. It will be too late.
Alien Earth. Do we have a release date on this? Let's see. August. All right. So next month, we're getting Alien Earth on FX, which is Disney Plus, basically, at this point. Interesting show to check out. And I think it's gonna be a quality show. I don't know about the people that's like the lore of Alien. I don't know because I'm more general with that. But Noah Hawley as a showrunner and doing this series, I think it's gonna be a quality show. That's what I think overall with that. So we will see how that series comes about when it goes live. So we hit a couple series. What we got in the chat? Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's go into the Fantastic Four conversation, because when we talk about the July box office, it's been a very interesting vibe about the July box office, and now we're into Fantastic Four area, right? Now let's see. Let me pull up something here. We're going to talk about the opening numbers, the tracking. We've been talking about tracking of Fantastic Four for a good minute. And we've been following, and what I'm understanding now is that the tracking numbers that that's out there, and what what I hear, it starts domestic first, and then internationally, globally, we'll kind of see what it does. I don't think it's some kind of weird concept to understand that if you make a domestic film, you got to make money domestically first, and then the rest of the world kind of chimes in. And so that's kind of the angle that we're coming to with this. So with Fantastic Four, what were we saying? Actually, okay, let's actually talk about this, and let's go into this. Fantastic Four is tracking behind Superman, which is true, and I've been saying this on my channel. I don't know if a lot of channels really picked up on that a month ago, but it's been tracking as far as pre-sales and just opening weekend buzz. Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, which was actually mid domestically, but big internationally, meaning as a business model, you're not making as much money if most of your money is international. But I'll put that aside. And then Superman comes out killing domestically and is going to hold, and we'll talk about that in the next topic. Internationally, interesting story. We'll touch on that. Fantastic Four has been behind Superman this entire time. We saw what Superman did. Now Fantastic Four is is behind that. Well, again, projection wise, and we'll see the results. Well, I take results over anything. I can project and talk about what I think is going to happen, but I will take the actual numbers over anything. Right. So Zarb says, if Fantastic Four is tracking my Superman, I'm not surprised. Both are marketed as family movies. No, Fantastic Four is not. I don't feel no family vibe from Fantastic Four, but okay. Only have so much money to spend on a night on the movies. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair comment. You got Fantastic Four opening at 128 million. So let's actually give you. I'm gonna give you a real numbers, right? When y'all come to here again, when I say we're giving you informative, meaning I want to give you what's actually being reported out there, not just by random tweets on Twitter and things like that, social media. I want to give you the real information, and then I'm gonna be objective, whatever. I'm gonna give my thoughts, whatever, and we're gonna be dynamic. If things over exceed the projections, I have no problem saying, "Oh, this did better than we thought it would do." Right? So as far as what Fantastic Four opening 128 million, this is and shout out to Agent 47. He's a good sport. I'm not trying to do anything weird bringing this up, but Fantastic Four pre-sales are tracking 20% behind Superman. 100 million is the number. 128 is great. That's a great number. That's a great number. It just that's probably not what this is going to do. We got people got to start realizing Marvel fumbled so hard this past phase or two, right? And so you saw what Brave New World did. It opened up with like 88 million. Thunderbolts opened up a little under 80 million. Fantastic Four is on pace, and just again to give you a number, is 100 million is the number that we're talking about with this film, with what Marvel is doing. Marvel is tracking behind DC, and I don't. I'm trying to remember a time where this was a thing. When did Marvel ever open up behind DC? In the same month, or within the recent months. This is wild. Let's see, what was the chat saying? Is her feelings in the chat? What's going on? We're just going over the data again. As a millennial, I'm of the data age where I lean into analytics and data, that we just do that. So give me data and we'll discuss. Yeah, shout out to Carlos. We're going to be doing more on the Superman channel. Link in the description. Some breakdowns of the film. This Superman film, according to Warner Bros. Discovery, it's a success domestically. Internationally, we'll see how more numbers come up. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But we're going to start breaking down the film. It's been 2 weeks now. We got the second weekend coming up now, so we can go into more spoilers, more publicly, and break down stuff. So Carlos will be a part of that for sure. It's a Marvel family movie, but not a family film. It's not. So, and I'll kind of go into what I hear about this film and talk about this more. I think it's going to be an enjoyable film. Fantastic Four, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to see it next Thursday premiere next week. I'm going to take a half a day of work and go and see Fantastic Four and see what I think of the film. But I did hear some things about this film, and I guess I'll throw it out there now, where the trailers are pointing towards like an ominous type of vibe of the film. I was hearing a couple of days ago that it's more of a safer route of this film. So no matter Galactus and all this stuff going on, well, great. I'm looking forward to just the big vibe of Galactus stomping on buildings, right? That's like Snoop Dogg stomping on New York. If you know, you know, with that back in the day. But with this Fantastic Four film, it's going to end up being like a safer entry than we thought. And I wonder how would that affect the word of mouth. We'll see. We'll see. It's all projections and forecasts. But it's more of a safer route than I thought. I'll just say that. What we got in the chat? Shout out to Derek in the chat. Hey, DC may win the month as far as domestically. Internationally, yeah, I think Jurassic World Rebirth has those international numbers. Like these other markets over the seas, they like this dinosaur stuff, right? Maybe they don't like this Superman and Fantastic Four collectively. We'll see. But when we're talking business, you want to win here first. And Fantastic Four has to have a pretty good opening domestically. Internationally, to do what it do. That's the vibes that we're at. Spider-Man 3. We're saying Spider-Man 3. What we mean by that? And what's Spider-Man 3? Let's go into this. That did crazy internationally, but domestically did good as well too. But a lot of people didn't like that film, actually, Spider-Man 3. So yeah, that's what it is. Let's see. Superman broke a lot of spirits. That's wild. Throwback pool. What we doing? We're talking Fantastic Four right now. It's tracking behind Superman. Again, I'm just about data. I'm not about. I could tell you my feelings. Galactus should destroy their world. If not, I think it will hurt the film. So this is what I'll say, because I don't want to spoil nothing. I know how this film ends. But all I say, I tweeted out there. I was like, they took the safe route with this film. But I still feel this film be enjoyable, because after I tweeted that out, then you had other outlets saying, "Oh, it's an enjoyable film," and you know, I'm sure it's not because of what I said, but they took the safe route. That's all I can say. That's all I can say with Fantastic Four. And I think I will enjoy it. I think Human Torch is a big part of the film. I think people will like a lot what he said. I think Mr. Fantastic is going to be really good. I think Pedro Pascal is going to come across really good in this film. I'm going to enjoy this film. All I'm saying is that they took the safe route. That's all I can say. Does it make it bad or good? I don't know. But I just saw people got real active when I put that out there. And you'll see for yourself next week. I'm going to see. I haven't seen the film yet. I talked to people that seen the film. They don't want to spoil everything to me, but all they told me was the safe route comment that I put out there, right? So that is what it is. Yeah, so 100 million opening. That's behind Superman. Right? Now, when we throw stuff out there, because I people, even people that watch my channel for a while, they lose sight of the information we put out there. When I started with the late great Mikey Sutton, he introduced me to theater exhibitors, and I've great sources because of Mikey Sutton, and then I got my own sources aside of that. Box office, I've been pretty spot on. Probably for the last couple of years as far as with films. And Superman, we saw how that people were saying, oh, it's going to be this low. I was like, nah, it's going to be this high, right? So we see what Superman's doing domestically. With Fantastic Four, it's always been tracking behind Superman. So if Superman, 125 million domestically. Fantastic Four tracking 100 million. These are the numbers. This is the data that we're getting you. And then you have your opening, you have your big splash. No matter what it is, then you get the audience score and the cinema score. And that's a buffer to whatever you do opening. So we're not even there yet. Right? We're talking about opening numbers has been tracking behind Superman. Right, so there's no other way to say that to people. So I just want to throw that to you. So international is a mixed bag. We'll see. We'll see what it does internationally. Marvel's in a position now, like DC, having to regain the trust back. Boom! This is probably one of the best comments in the chat today. Shout out to Derek. Because what DC has done with James Gunn Superman is they got what they wanted with the critical and audience scores. We're just talking business right now. I'm not talking about your followers on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you're doing. Like, DC, Warner Bros. Discovery has accomplished what they wanted with the Superman film, is saying the audience score seems good, critical score they did. They like that critic. They like that critical, certified fresh. They like that certified lover boys. They love that. But and then the numbers and the second week that we're in right now with Superman. This is what Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios wanted. Now, people going to the international numbers ain't what it's supposed to be with Superman. I'm here to tell you there's several factors as far as with international numbers, but I would love to talk to people directly about if you feel they're failing in a certain market. I would love to educate people on that. If they want that, if people want to run with what they hear on Reddit, it's all good. I will say this: James Gunn Superman. First off, Zaza is very satisfied with what Superman's doing and the projections for the second week and the full domestic run. So they're saying, "Oh, we're going forward with the first wave of DCU." And you're going to start hearing about green lights of other projects like Wonder Woman and other things as well, too. So DCU, that's going forward. So anyone saying, oh, fire James Gunn and all this stuff, they're not going to fire James Gunn. So I'm going to break that to you. And then you just go forward with the numbers of that. As far as, aside of that, we can have that conversation, but I'm here to kind of let people know just how box office works overall. This is a flip where DC is tracking better domestically than Marvel. if Fantastic Four hits more internationally, then great. That's a great headline. It's about winning the headlines. People that watch my channel for several years, I've been pushing that for the longest. And I told y'all they will take this James Gunn Superman film and make sure it wins as much headlines as possible. But it's actually doing good domestically. I mean, you can't refute that. Let's see. We got Zarp coming close second. Oh yeah, no. Next week, as far as projections, Superman's going to hold up good his third weekend going against Fantastic Four, and you may see like a weird thing where Superman holds pretty good. I mean, if Fantastic Four is going to win his opening weekend, 100 million is 100 million. But if Superman comes in at 20 or 20, I thought 20. That's a pretty good hold for a third weekend domestically. Internationally, internationally is crazy. We can't forecast international markets because you're talking about 100 markets. And I'm just saying it in general. You're talking about putting together 100 markets together. I only can forecast the one market domestically out here in the States, right? And then we'll see what it does internationally. Super safe route is annoying, but yeah, I'm gonna see. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I want to make it very clear because I knew that's why I put this story out there. That's probably what my source gave me that information is because going off of the trailer and what Fantastic Four we thought it was going to do, and even what that ending, that post credit you saw in Thunderbolts, you thought, oh man, this film's about to go crazy, Fantastic Four. And then I heard, oh, they're actually going a safe route with this film as far as the ending. So don't expect like some kind of doomsday end game type moment in Fantastic Four. That's what I heard. And I put that out there. I think I was the first person to put that out there. Is the film enjoyable? Oh, yeah. Because again, I saw people come out after me. They was like, "Oh, let's put it out there." Fantastic Four is a fun film. I'm not trying to say it's not. And some of my mutuals as well too was putting it out there. I was like, "No, I'm not trying to say it's not. I'm not trying to diss Fantastic Four. All I'm saying is that what you thought you were walking into is not this ominous film, that you thought it was. It's a pretty safe summer film." But I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to see it. I'm going to have a good time seeing it. Like Music City right here. Right. So interesting. Let's see. What we got in the chat? We're talking about Fantastic Four right now. What we got? Hold up. Air Force part of MCU is not the same as Fox. Okay, nice. How did MCU do this year? Avengers don't come out to after Fantastic Four. How is the Avengers going to carry Fantastic Four? That's why the track is at 100 million, because part of it is, and this may be a vibe here, Pedro Pascal may be helping Fantastic Four, and maybe this brand, Fantastic Four, because we had Captain America Brave New World, 80 million opening. Thunderbolts, 70 million. Fantastic Four, 100 million. Why? Why is Fantastic Four may be a good IP that Feige better be very, careful how he passed that forward overall. So it's going to make his money, but Avengers has nothing to do with this. See what I'm saying? So let's catch up with the chat. Agent 47 as well. Let's see. We'll talk about Superman in a moment. We're talking about Fantastic Four right now. Let's see. Okay. So we'll go forward. So Fantastic Four, again, it's going to do what it do. 100 million opening plus. And it may over exceed that. But if it doesn't do domestically what Superman did the first weekend, DC wins. And I know people was like, oh, international markets, well, Fantastic Four is not tracking good. China either. China is something going on with China. And I want to get into this whole political thing with this. China's been tracking pretty weird for multiple films, even the successful films. You can't count on China no more. Now, I said this months ago. I know people didn't like hearing what I was. I try to give y'all stuff when I hear it. China is not like some safe haven for these films. And I will love people. Don't generalize what you're saying. Be very specific, because we could talk about specifics as far as international box office. Because I see people say, oh, well, international, they don't like this. We can get very specific, because I do this every day. Just want to let people know that. The people that's been watching this channel for a while, y'all should know that already. But it's like, yeah, we could talk about international numbers. But Fantastic Four is not tracking good. China, there's something going on with China, y'all. For all like recent blockbusters, Lilo and Stitch just made $1 billion. How do they do in China? Minecraft, Moana 2, Inside Out 2. These are $900 to $1 billion films. Hasn't done good in China. So, I mean, I know y'all love your narratives, and we're talking about, we're on X Twitter as well as YouTube. I know y'all love y'all narratives on Twitter. And I'm just here to tell you, like, China, you want to get off of that narrative. Okay? China is not the move right now with all films. All right? And we'll be very specific, when you bring that up. So let's catch up with the chat. Hold on, where we at? We'll talk about Superman in just a moment. We're just talking about Fantastic Four right now. Okay, I don't see much about Fantastic Four. Okay, so we'll go to Superman, because we don't want to talk about Fantastic Four, I guess. Truly a 4-quadrant movie. Doesn't have political undertones. Going to have a great repeat. I don't know. We'll see, Toby, when it comes to the audience score. You can talk about your personal score all you want, but Fantastic Four, yeah, I do believe, according to what I heard from, again, the test screenings, it's a 4-quadrant film. Okay, so you're talking about men, women, young, older audience. Now, I wonder the older audience. See, Superman has the older audience sold up by the numbers, and then I'll say personally, just my personal screenings, it was older couples both times. When I saw it in theaters, but that Silver Age and that vibe of Superman, that does play to older audience. Fantastic Four, I don't know. So I don't know if this is a true 4-quadrant film. We'll see. We'll definitely see, when Fantastic Four comes out. And we'll do the numbers when it does that. But Right now, the tracking is 100 million. That's behind Superman. Interesting. All right, so let's go into this week's, because Fantastic Four was reaching into the future. All right. Let's go to the this week's box office. Overall with these films. Box office battle. Box office battle this week of July 18th to 20th. Shout out to Box Office Pro for the graphics. Overall, we're seeing Superman coming in 45 to 55 million, though the latest reports are saying is more on the high end, potential 40% drop for Superman, which is, you definitely don't want the 60% drop, right, of Superman. If you word of mouth and lay out a 50 plus million second weekend, you're very happy with that domestically. That's with any number in history. And there's a lot of people online right now, they don't understand how box office works. They said Superman was going to be DOA. Well, it's not. It's not. Just want to throw it out there. According to numbers, it's not DOA. It's actually doing pretty well. It's first weekend, going to second weekend. As far as international, I would love to have that conversation. If people want to have that real conversation about international, I would love to have it. But I don't think people are ready for that conversation. Just throwing it out there. But second weekend, Superman holding up pretty good. Some sites are saying it's going to do 60 million the second weekend. Overall, Jurassic World Rebirth, I'm going to give credit where it's due. Universal, Jurassic World IP, you held up pretty well the second weekend. It did just under 60% drop, meaning you got walk-ups and word of mouths, and Jurassic World is as strong as it's ever been. So you're going to get your new trilogy with ScarJo, and I'm looking forward to that. Overall, and Jurassic World Rebirth is doing so well, it's going to stomp on any new entries coming up this week. I Know What You Did Last Summer may over-index and fight with Jurassic World Rebirth, but Smurfs is not. Smurfs is not going to do anything this weekend. This is probably the worst weekend ever to drop Smurfs, according to the numbers. But I Know What You Did Last Summer, the revival, may challenge Jurassic World a bit. And that'll be very interesting if it jumps up there and actually challenges those numbers. But Smurfs, we're not expecting too much from Smurfs overall. Let's go to the chat. What are we talking about? These are the numbers. What are we talking about? Hold up. Let's catch up with the chat here. China's not messing with James Gunn Superman at all. China, again, has been kind of off with several, even blockbuster films recently. So, yeah, I don't know what people expect from China. It is what it is. Could it be some anti-American sentiment? It could possibly. I don't want to incite nothing, okay? I don't want to go into that. But China ain't messing with nothing right now, okay? It's all good. Yeah, we'll see, Toby. Is it that true 4 quadrant film? We're going to see. the numbers are saying it's coming behind Superman. That's all I'm saying. I'm just talking about the data. Avengers ending or Infinity? Well, that's what it's a mix. It's a mix. That's what I'm saying. It's a mix. How it ends. I'm not going to spoil anything here. We have a conversation. How realistic is the hits? You talking about Superman? Oh, guarantee it's going to hit 500 million. Guarantee. Superman is on the pace right now where it's going to do 300 plus million domestically. Let's go to the numbers. Let's go to the numbers here. Got too much going on. There we go. Let's take your comment out there. It's going to hit 500 million. Right now, today, this is the spot. This is the look on Box Office Mojo. 166 million. I don't domestically. I don't know if that has the Thursday numbers. What's today? Friday. So we'll see if we put in the Thursday numbers. But after this weekend, it's going to have 225 domestically, and then internationally, more numbers will come in. The weird thing with James Gunn's Superman is that usually the international numbers or releases come out a week before the film comes out, or at least a few days before the film comes out domestically. So you have this big, opening rush of international. They didn't choose to do this with Superman. They released everything pretty much the same day, which was kind of weird. But internationally, that means we have kind of like a backlog of what it will do internationally. So we got to talk domestically because we don't really know the international numbers until they come in, which they will come in, after this weekend. But the interesting thing though is what they want with James Gunn Superman. That's what makes this very clear to people, because I don't want to sugarcoat anything. What they want with James Gunn Superman, maybe this is news to people. Maybe this is breaking news to people. But Man of Steel 2013 domestically, it was under 300 million. James Gunn Superman, Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios, they want to make sure James Gunn Superman is over 300 million domestically. They already are celebrating it. So you saw Zaza celebrating his win because the tracking is telling him he's going to get more than 300 million domestically for this film, meaning the key market is here in the States. And then internationally, you'll pick up what you get. I know people got so caught up in the headlines. Oh, the film did $1 billion. It did 500 million overseas collectively. That has changed. Lilo and Stitch had to fight for his life to get $1 billion. That headline. Most of that wasn't international. Minecraft didn't get $1 billion. So it's about, again, domestic numbers first, and then what you can get internationally. You got people now saying, oh, well, no, you got to do international first. Nah, that's not. Per market, why do you feel you have to win an international market before domestic? If you get 300 to 400 million domestically, you are happy with that run for any film studio. And again, we can talk international. I'm waiting for people to say something specific, and we can talk about it. We could definitely talk about it today. But this is the target. I'm telling y'all here. This is what Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios are just saying. We want to make more than Man of Steel 2013 domestically. What are we saying? Yeah, Smurfs now. Smurfs ain't doing it. I showed you the numbers. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, to hold potentially to just fall 40% second weekend, that's really good as a business. I'm not gonna get into the political stuff, Peter. What do you think? Superman? Yeah, I think Superman's gonna get. Yeah, that's what I think it's gonna get. Let's see. I called it. It's not hitting 700 million by next week. Fantastic Four will take its money, and this will drop. It's not looking like the big success they wanted, which is above the numbers from previous CVM. No. Again, you probably said this before I pulled this up. All Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios is looking at is Superman still hot domestically? It is going to pass the domestic number of Man of Steel. I just want to put that out there to you. No, I'm just saying. I mean, international again. That's frosting. That's frosting on the cake. You know, overall. What Zaziv, WBD, and DC Studios wants is for James Gunn Superman to surpass the domestic number of Man of Steel for the headlines. Again, I don't care about feelings. I don't care about what this should do. I think Man of Steel is the best Superman film I've seen. And I've seen James Gunn Superman. I think that's a cool DC entry. But Man of Steel is a better DC Superman film. But that is what it is. I'm just reporting to y'all that they saw this was projected to surpass this domestically. And I'm waiting for someone to ask the right question internationally, and we can go to that conversation. I'm just letting you know. I just give you the information. Superman's a reboot. They want to make the budget. Yeah, they're happy with this reboot. They're actually happy. Thor 4 made 340 domestic. Yeah, Superman may make that. What are we talking about? Kenny G, international markets are unpredictable. That's why they are focused on domestic, right? Yeah, that's very true, Kenny. Again, China and other markets is not like it was, I don't know, like 3 years ago. I compared that with the Jurassic World numbers. You got the Jurassic World 1 year, they had like 600 million internationally. Then it dropped to 400. And what this current Jurassic World is going to do, it's going to barely get to 400 internationally. And then you add the domestic in, it's going to do like 200 or something. So you're fighting to get 700 million for Jurassic World Rebirth. But people don't want to have that conversation. They want to have these goofy comments. What were we saying? You gotta make money domestic first, and that's been the thing always. And then internationally has went crazy with different markets, and then it's cutting back. I said this specifically with China, that China has cut back pretty hard the last couple of years. He was like, "Oh no, China, no. China ain't the market right now for American films." But Lilo and Stitch still made $1 billion because of collectively. And again, if people are ready for that conversation, we'll have it. If they're not ready for it, then we're not going to have it, right? But all I'm saying is, like, you can't rely on China anymore for the last couple years. Okay? If you hear me, you hear me. If you don't, if you stuck on 2015, then okay. But I'm here to have a real conversation with y'all. Let's see what we're saying in the chat. WB wants to restore the goodwill of the brand. Well, let's not. First off, let's not diss. And just on my platform, I just want to make it a thing where we don't have to diss the DCEU. Man of Steel still did make 600 million plus. Again, close to 300 domestic. BVS did make 870 million plus for theatrical film. So Wonder Woman, 800 million plus. Aquaman, $1 billion. So we don't have to diss the DCEU. That's all I'm saying. It's all good. No, Joe's cool though. Joe's cool. I just wanted to use that comment for an example. But that's been the real thing. People ain't ready for that conversation. People want their narratives. They want to, go with what, fits their narrative. I got you, Joe. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. I know I wasn't going at you personally. I was just going off of what that post said. No, Zazev is glazing domestic numbers. This is what I'm saying. Like they are glazing domestic numbers because those are the direct market. This in business. So James Gunn Superman, with it approaching, it's likely going to get 300 million plus, and then we'll see. Again, there's a lot of people saying it's going to do a pretty good hold this second weekend. We got the number here. It's going to have what was the first weekend? 125 million. People are saying it's going to get like 60. So you're going to have a pretty good hold for the second weekend. And then even when Fantastic Four comes out, there's this whole super fantastic hashtag going on where Superman may have a pretty good third weekend. We'll see. We'll see what Zaslav, Warner Bros. Discovery, DC Studios, what they wanted was this Superman film, not just to make money. Of course, you wanted to make money, but you wanted that critical bow, and that's what they got with James Gunn Superman. And then the audience retention, the audience score, that's audience RT on Rotten Tomatoes, and the cinema score. So they got the trifecta they feel with this film is that you got enough critics bought in. Now, we could fight about that all day. I never trust critics, but when the audience comes in and the cinema score, that is something that Superman has, and that's why Zazev is running laps around the Warner Brothers Tower, because he's saying, I got the ultimate Superman film. Critics, audience, good opening box office score, good legs. So they're gonna run with this Superman film for another week after this. Just to let people know. This is a success, box office wise. Now, people want to go to the international numbers. We can talk about that, be very specific, and we can have that conversation. I'm just saying. What we got in the chat? Let's see. You see, you lost the interest of the audience, equivalent to what Batman and Robin like. It's a little more messier, right, than Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin was like just point to point. You knew where you lost the interest, right? It got a little bit too zany. It went back to the Adam West. Now, again, when you watch Batman and Robin now, I think it's a good watch. I like Batman and Robin. I actually do. But the younger me didn't like Batman and Robin in the theaters. I was not a fan of it because my favorite, one of my favorite arcs of Batman at that time was the Bane, and you bastardized Bane in Batman. So it was no way I was going to like that film in real time. Right now, I have a little more respect for Batman and Robin, but DCEU, when they pivoted away from Zack Snyder's vision, you got Justice League, right? But then you had Aquaman. So then what is this world? See, they messed up that world in real time. They should have let Zack just play out his vision and even end it, and then do what you want to do with the Hamoniverse. Then bring in Matt Reeves Batman, and then do James Gunn Superman if you want. But you should have finished that arc in real time. And as I said, continuously, I feel Zack will be able to do some Elseworld story, DC in the future. And I feel Zack will make sure it's finishing his story, right? So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But so to say like, DCEU lost the audience, that was their fault. That wasn't the film's fault. If you would have actually put out the Snyder Cut, that would have made money, even if you didn't like the critical. Because I'll tell you right now, the critics, do they like Zack Snyder's Justice League? Hold up. Let's I forget because I don't really go to Rotten Tomatoes for that. Let's see what we got. Do the critics like Zack Snyder's Justice League? Let me pull up the screen. All you had to do was put out this film in 2017. That's all they had to do. Because you got your critical, it's not certified fresh, but that's a good number critically on Rotten Tomatoes. And then you had the audience score 90 plus, which is what James Gunn Superman is, 90 plus. So you don't quite have the full critical 80 plus score, but you had a good enough score to just let this ride in real time. These are the same people that, I didn't like BVS, but Zack Snyder, Terrio, and the crew, they adjusted Zack Snyder's Justice League in real time. And the critics liked it. And you like it out there, Zack Snyder's Justice League. And you could have just let this play out and then do your reboot after that. But this is what Zack was trying to do, overall. So what I'm saying, I say this to say I'm pushing back on the sentiment that, oh, DCU lost the interest of the audience. No, I don't know anyone that doesn't like Zack Snyder's Justice League in real time. Again, that's a small sample size. And then social media and the metrics, Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to do great if you released this film in 2017, and it would have been a 2:14 cut, right? It wouldn't have been a full 4-hour epic. Zack had a shorter cut, and I think the critics would have liked it. Again, audience obviously loves it, right? So I say this though, so that's why I can't compare this to the Batman and Robin thing, Joe. That's why I said that. Let's catch up with the chat. All right, let's go back to the Superman numbers. Yeah, people so caught up in China. China hasn't helped anything. They're saying who's saying they're saying the Superman has been. Hey, we'll see. I'm waiting for the official numbers. That's what we're gonna do. I mean, there's new returns coming in. That's great. That's great if there's new returns coming in now. But I'm waiting for the official numbers. Right now, domestic is the better metric to track right now, and then we'll see what it does internationally. But right now, what James Gunn Superman is doing, it is on pace. Again, to do about 220 by this weekend, and then it's on pace to do 300 million plus, which is what Zaslav and DC Studios wants. So. What's going on? Ouroboros, what's good? With the shift in market, WBD needs to figure out how to make these films. Oh, that's what they're doing, yeah. Yeah, I think we have an article on that too. That's what they're doing. Superman domestic success. It will greenlight a lot of other projects. Gotta think bigger. This all helps towards the future success of DC, which is important. I think that's what, again, the DCU, this James Gunn DCU is going forward. All right. So I just want to break that to certain people. This is going forward. You got Supergirl already in the chamber. You got streaming shows, Peacemaker next month. Lanterns next year, early next year. Clayface is going to start shooting in 2 months in September. So you're getting this first wave. All James Gunn Superman had to do was win the headline, and they got 125 million opening weekend. All right. That's what it got. So now you can, that's why Zaslav put out that statement. James Gunn put out a statement. The Warner Bros. Distributor, content distributor, he put out a statement. Goldstein put out a statement. It was someone else too, I think. People was like, "Oh, you gonna come out the first week and say that?" Because this is what I've been saying is that when these films come out, you have different metrics: audience score, audience reaction. Word of mouth was established that it was going to be really good for the second weekend. That's why you come out ahead of it and say, "Oh, I'm gonna take my victory lap." You did this with Minecraft and with Sinners because you knew the word of mouth was that good. So now they did it with Superman. They didn't do this with Mickey 17 or Alto Nights, or all the Warner Brothers films that flopped. With high profile names attached to it, they didn't. So I'm just trying to tell people, like, you have to understand how this is going. Is that they were ready to spend the Superman success no matter what this was going to do, to be quite honest. As long as it was tracking ahead of 500 million. And that's what it's doing. It's tracking ahead of 500 million. So that's why you see Zazev and the crew coming out, because they say, oh, we won the headline. And on top of that, they feel with this audience they got for James Gunn Superman, they feel they got the audience that's going to be successful for them, and they could push forward. So anyone that felt like, oh, I'm going to boycott this, or I don't want this to do different numbers, they're saying we got our audience with this. So, it's up to you if you want to say, oh, this isn't successful enough. If you're not a fan of this, if you want to continue to boycott or whatever, because they feel they got their audience now, right? So if you're done with Warner Brothers, this is your time to be done with Warner Brothers in DC, if this is what you want to do, because they got the numbers saying that we did good enough. That's actually, I think it's a quote out there. That's a quote saying, oh, we did good enough. So if he wasn't rocking with it, now again, I feel, and I'll continue to say this, and we'll kind of start winding this down about 10 minutes. So last minute comments or questions, put it in the chat. But they feel that they have their DCU audience, that 125 opening weekend domestically. They feel they got it. And it's pretty good numbers with Brazil, which is a really good DC fan base, and other markets as well, too. Again, I would love people to tell me what international market is totally failing, because China, we expected that. But again, we could have that conversation. But and don't say France. France is on code. I don't know why people is pushing France. So they feel they have their market and they're ready to go forward with this DCU. That's just what's going on. Let's get it with the chat, because I want to lose people. Let's see. Batman and Robin making, they admit the movie was meant to be a giant toy commercial. Yeah, and that's what it did. And I enjoyed today. Batman and Robin, I have good respect for that. Joe, that would have been in our childhood. That wasn't a good experience. Yeah, Mortal Kombat and Annihilation is definitely worse than Batman and Robin. It's so many levels why it's worse. I just want to say it. Certain WB is fudging the numbers. No, I mean the numbers are there. 261. I don't think this is Thursday numbers, right? I think some people said like this doesn't include the Thursday. This Superman film, let's be very clear with the domestic, because what I understand now is that I'm not going to be able to predict international markets. We won't be able to do that going forward. Domestically, you got to hit here first, and then again, it will spread around the world. Domestically, 125 opening weekend, that's always good. I don't care what franchise you are. Again, Marvel will love this next week with Fantastic Four. 125 million? Let's be realistic, right? Okay. So, and then following that, you have Monday with with 17 million and or 11 million. It's been pretty good each weekday after the opening of Superman, is the point, we're trying to make. Actually, I got the numbers here, so I don't got to guess. Yeah, 12 million Monday, 17 million Tuesday. That's $5 Tuesday. Wednesday, you got a new discount Wednesday thing going on. You got 11 million. So just in context, you had a really good opening weekend domestically, James Gunn Superman. No matter what film this is the same thing I'm going to say, right? Great opening weekend. Decent hold for Monday, not the best hold for Monday, 12 million. Then it goes up 30%, 17 million Tuesday. And it has a really good Wednesday, 11 million. I think it duplicated that for Thursday. This film is very healthy domestically. We're going to see again the international numbers, and that's frosting on top of it. They just want to get over 300 million domestic. This is what I'm telling y'all today. All right. What we got in the chat? I gotta start closing this down because I gotta get going to my day job. Last minute comments and questions, but again, we want to talk about the Superman box office and what's going on with that. That is tracking very well. It's doing its thing. You know, real gotta recognize real with that. There's too much disingenuous and bad faith arguments out there. The numbers are the numbers, y'all. All right. Again, international, if you feel like, you want to, if that's your angle, we can have that conversation. I promise. Very powerful to the studio, stepped all over everything. They stayed course. I believe every film would hit $1 billion. All the Justice League films would have did, again, because you would have had this formula. This is what they were searching. And this was the crazy thing with DC and WB. They were searching for the formula that they got right now with James Gunn Superman. So they're happy saying, "Oh, we're going to build off of that." You were not happy with Man of Steel and BVS, but you had it with the Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like Zack in real time gave you the film that you wanted for the critics and the audience, right? Y'all course corrected him because he was giving you a wild story that you didn't like with the whole Bruce and Lois thing and all this stuff going on. So in real time, Zack was adjusting and he gave you the opus that you wanted. And you would have had a trilogy of films, Justice League 1, 2, and 3. And then you would have flashpointed it. You would have had a spinoff of Adam. You still would have had Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg project, however it is going to put that out after COVID, because COVID is a factor in all this as well too. But they decided to move on from Zack, before COVID. But Zack gave you that critical success and audience success. So it would have been nice if they would have ride that out and then reboot it and then do what you're doing right now. Go forward with this Gunn stuff, what you're doing, because you got the critical success and the audience success overall. And the DCU, it is a thing. You got Supergirl coming out next year. They're already starting to promote Supergirl because they're trying to signify to the domestic audience and to the world that we're going forward, right? That's what that's about. So that is what it is, right? Let's see. We got to start rounding this out. This is an amazing hold. This is of all the films I've covered for this past year, Sinners is an anomaly where it practically was the same box office week 1 and week 2. That's just insane. You would not repeat what Sinners did. But any film where you hold 50% or even 40%, yeah, you are going crazy with those numbers overall. Yeah, exactly. Once I got older and I realized Batman and Robin, they was trying to do like an Adam West with Clooney, I was like, okay, I actually get it. And that first sequence, I challenge anyone. Watch that first sequence of Batman and Robin. If you're not in today, then you don't love comic book movies. That first sequence of Batman and Robin is actually pretty good. Chasing Mr. Freeze in multiple, locations, and it goes to space. It goes crazy, that first sequence. Schumacher, shout out to Joel Schumacher. Rest in peace, Joel Schumacher. Released the Schumacher cut. He was only doing what the execs told him to do, and he actually cooked. In my opinion, obviously with Batman Forever, but Batman and Robin as well. I'm there with it. Let's see here. It's business. Let's keep it real. ZSJL crash service. People in real time from Spain was messaging me saying, sylabdul, I can't watch the starter cut. The servers are crashed. In real time. So it's like, Warner Brothers and DC, if they would have held off a beat and let the Justice League come out, Zack Snyder's Justice League, you probably would have started getting that success, because Zack gave you what you wanted. We said, okay, you want me to go that crazy? Okay, that's cool. Because at first y'all told Zack Snyder to go crazy. That's what people forget. Warner Brothers wanted Zack to go that hard. And then they saw the critics like, oh, shoot, oh, the audience don't like it. Oh, man. And then Zack, adjusted on the fly and gave you Zack Snyder's Justice League, which the critics and audience likes, right? But that's one of the great what ifs, right? That's why I feel, though, that Zack will do an Elseworld DC story. He's back good with Warner Bros. This current regime. So we'll see. But yeah, if those up there saying that you're done, like, again, they're saying, Warner Bros. Are saying, according to just what I'm being told, is that they're happy with the audience response, the domestic response. International will do what it do. And they feel Supergirl. And this is why I've been trying to set y'all up for this for like a year now. They feel Supergirl. If you don't like Superman, or if Superman doesn't hit in certain markets or certain demographics, they feel Supergirl is going to hit. It's going to be as good as Superman, but then hit on the demographics that Superman didn't possibly hit. All right? That's what they're saying. And that's why I've been saying for this past year that Supergirl may do better than Superman. That is what it is. Let's see. I'm going to catch up with the chat before we close this out. Fernando. Superman's a huge success, no matter what anyone says. Oh, no, this is a success. I mean, again, you got to win here first. You see what it does internationally. It's all good, but you make back your budget domestically alone, they're happy with that. Gunn got everybody to love Superman for the most part, so creating the rest of the universe should be fairly easy, as long as he doesn't get too silly. Yeah, and again, and I admit, in this James Gunn Superman film, he didn't go overboard silliness. He had his moments, and then the other films, again, he's not directing Supergirl, so that's another director. Clayface is a different director, so it's other people involved. But when Gunn comes with a film, Gunn's going to come with a different, his own angle. And it seems to be, again, success domestically. Hollywood in general feels like it can crack China. It'll be easy money, but their audience tastes are much different. Yeah, I mean, China, like I said, China has totally rejected Superman. I mean, I won't say totally rejected. It's going to make probably under 10 million over there. But what people don't realize, the last couple of years with China, you're not getting too much from China anymore, from American films. This has been for a couple of years now. I know people are probably waking up to that fact now. Lilo and Stitch just got $1 billion domestic globally. Only 20 million of that was from China. China doesn't move the needle for American-based box office films anymore, blockbuster films. It just doesn't. Minecraft got what, 20 million? That made 900 million. But I've been saying this. People are still caught up in Infinity War saga days where China gives you 400 million or 300 million or whatever. It's a different day. I don't know why. I just go off the numbers. I've been saying for the past year, China doesn't hit like it used to hit. But people want to, again, run with their narratives. It's all good. It's all good. We here with the numbers if y'all want to talk. That's all. Superman had the best Wednesday in box office ever. I don't know about ever, but it had a good for the year, yeah. Hey, I feel you. I feel you on that. Annihilation was terrible. Again, one of the rare times I'm gonna walk out of the theater. Rare times. Oh my goodness. I'm catching up with the chat right now. It's crap. Maria, we're not going to do this today, Maria, okay? We're not going to do that. We're not going to fight about Batman and Robin. I'm just saying. Interesting. So yeah, I got to start winding this out. But that's pretty much the message. Like I said, with Superman, like I said, the second weekend is holding really good by any metrics you want to use. There is an audience for this Superman, domestically. Internationally, again, I would love for people to say, okay, again, China, we can talk about China all day, but all the other markets, as I said in my last stream, is pretty comparable to Matt Reeves' Batman and James Gunn's Guardians 3. And in some markets, it's actually doing better internationally than Matt Reeves' Batman. So, again, China is a big conversation, but that's a bigger conversation. With that, I feel overall, James Gunn's Superman is going to do 300 million plus. I think it will rock out at least 200 plus internationally once we get the new numbers. Because, again, those numbers, and I guess I'll throw it back up here. These numbers, the international market opened up like literally the same day domestic did. So there's always like a delay in international numbers. So we'll see what it actually does internationally. But domestically, yeah, the 325 I think is a lock at this point. Internationally, I think 200 plus. So you're talking about a $600 million film, unless it booms one way or the other. Then my number is 700 million, which I publicly betted someone on, which I may lose. But James Gunn Superman, it seems like a $600 million film globally. But they just want, again, that domestic return overall, with this film. So we'll see. We'll see what it does overall. We got 650. 650 is possible. 650 is definitely possible, but it's feeling like 600 million is the number, but it's going to be over 500 million, and they're going forward with this first wave of what they're doing. So we got 680, just in the 650. Yeah, But the thing is, domestically, they're taking those numbers and they're going forward. I just want to let people know they're going forward from all purposes that I'm hearing. They like the domestic route that they're taking, and they're riding with what Gunn does next with this DCU. So, but I do stand on now. I will say this now. I think Supergirl will, whatever Superman ends up the box office globally, I think Supergirl will do better. I think, and I've said that for a while now, but I really think that it will do better overall. We'll go and slide on out of here. Those are the latest numbers again with Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is tracking behind Superman. Let's throw this back up here. Just to let people know where we're ending off at here. So if Fantastic Four is tracking behind, then you know what does that mean, right? Overall, for comic book movies globally, this may be a bigger conversation, you know, overall. So let's see, moving the goalposts. Yeah, Man of Steel. The thing with that was, again, the domestic number. That's what they're trying to. That's why I showed that domestic number of Man of Steel. And again, they feel like, and I told y'all last year, I said, I was like, they're gonna make sure they're gonna go to whatever angle they need to make this look like a success. Critical success, audience success, domestic success. And then as far as international, they're gonna see what they do. So that's where we're at in this time in film. Much love to Still Nation. They definitely gonna run with this, no matter how this do. I've said that, like I said, for the past year. We will see how it holds for this weekend. I may do a weekend live stream. The sylabdul Superman channel. We're going to talk more about, kind of breaking down this film and things that we want to talk about, like the whole Jor-El controversy and things like that. Link in the description. sylabdul Superman. We'll be here for any pertinent film information, coffee talk. Again, Saturday weekend stream as well. Much love. We out.
Stay tuned.
Sylabdul ink to speak true as he bring the news. Coffee talk, stay brew, kick back, get real comfortable. Here to stay, no on delay, make sure I be's informed. On the road, on the go, playing ball on that pavement floor. It's the lifestyle right now, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Guaranteed all week's going to always be on time. That's my word, y'all heard from Il Divino Vega's mouth. What's the words much more than what these networks talk about?